Harry's Wife, Part 102.23. No, you can't change it. 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 Yes, a bit of a mashup there of MC Hammer's You Can't Touch This, and news that Harry's wife and Harry are being told, no, you can't change it. But what is it they're being told that they can't change? Is it the snot green paint in the inner atrium at the Monty Shit Show mansion? Is it the fact that Archie is crying out at the prospect of moving to Hope Valley and the loss of his parental trees, and that they can't change residence? No. According to Page 6, with an article by Sarah Nathan, Netflix pushes back on panicked Prince Harry, Harry's wife, over doc edits. Prince Harry and Harry's wife are at odds with Netflix and even their own production team, sources told Page 6, as they backtrack on what they want to show the public in their upcoming docu-series. The couple allegedly wants to cut chunks from the doc, which they have been filming for more than a year now. But Netflix chiefs are standing by the Sussex's filmmakers, who want to keep the content, according to insiders. Harry and Harry's wife are having second thoughts on their own story, on their own project, a Netflix source told Page 6 this week. According to another industry source, Harry and Harry's wife are panicked about trying to tone down even the most basic language. Well, I should imagine most of it is in basic language, because Harry's a bit of a dimwit and therefore only reads from the big book of three-letter words, and of course Harry's wife is invariably having a visceral, or is it a guttural, reaction. Oh, it's a guttural reaction, isn't it, as she stands there going and talking about archetypes when she means stereotypes. But apparently it's the most basic language, but it's their story from their own mouths. Well, that doesn't matter. What fool thinks that it can't be changed? What fresh nonsense is this? Did you not realise that when a narcissist says something, that it disappears into the ether, and subject to the requirements of the narcissism, i.e. the prime aims, it was never said, or it was said differently, or I did say it all along even though I hadn't said it? Go and watch my video, The Conditional Asterisks, to make sense of such mindfuckery. The fact is, Harry's wife will say something, believing it to be right, and then her narcissism will dictate at a later juncture that could cause a problem. Therefore, we will delete it, amend it, adjust it. And if it happens to have been recorded somewhere, well, you better let me change it, or else. Witness, for example, in Arsey Wipes, after being accused of being a diva by Mariah Carey, she had to creep back into the studio later on and record and edit to assert that control. Returning to the article, Page 6 previously revealed how the Duke and Duchess of Sussex wanted to edit the show in the wake of Queen Elizabeth II's death last month, as it's believed to include a number of truth bombs involving King Charles III and Queen Consort Camilla, as well as Prince William and Kate Middleton. Sources now say the couple actually started rethinking the show, which is being produced by their own company, Archwell, before the monarch died on September the 8th, at age 96. They've made significant requests to walk back content they themselves have provided, to the extent that some Netflix staff believe, if granted, it will effectively shelve the project indefinitely, the Netflix source. Netflix is standing by the filmmakers. This, of course, amounts to a threat to control. In order to maintain that facade, and potentially to try and keep open the avenue of returning to the royal family, yes, she has that amount of brass neck, they want to change what they've actually said, which shows a complete lack of conviction in the words that she's spoken about. And of course, although she urges people to ensure that they use their voice, when it comes to hers, she can chop and change it as and when she chooses. And the fact that Netflix are standing by the filmmakers is a threat to control. While Harry, 38, and Harry's wife, 41, want the show to launch next year, the streaming service, which has paid the couple millions of dollars, residual benefit, has long wanted it to debut it right after Season 5 of The Crown, which drops on November the 9th. Netflix has made it clear that the project is going forward, said the industry source. Netflix and a representative for the Duke and Duchess did not respond to requests for comment. The Sussexes have been followed around the world by a camera crew led by Oscar-nominated director Liz Garbus for the docu-series. So far, Netflix has yet to comment on the show, but when asked about the project in her bombshell interview with The Cut in August, Harry's wife described it as the piece of my life I haven't been able to share, that people haven't been able to see, our love story. Permission granted to Bath. She also called Garbus incredible. Bet she's not calling her that now. The filmmakers are not believed to have the final edit. That rests with the Sussexes and Netflix, sources said. With Queen Elizabeth's passing, the Sussexes' children, Archie 3 and Lilibet 1, are now entitled to be called Prince and Princess, but the decision lies in the hands of their grandfather, the King. But royal insiders have said that Charles will only make this decision once he has seen what Harry has written in his upcoming memoir, as well as what is included in the Netflix show. And therefore, with that threat hovering over them, which of course is the assertion of control by Charles, Harry and Harry's wife are responding to that by trying to edit things so that they don't lose out on titles for children who don't even live in the United Kingdom and live in the United States, where nobody really cares about titles. But that shows the slavish devotion that they have to the use of the titles, because it equals ka-ching money, that huge residual benefit. So whilst they haven't provided comment, below the line I'm sure there's plenty of observations. Sissy5372 states, if they are trying to take things out or tone them down, does that mean they were exaggerating or spinning things in ways that aren't truthful? They haven't been shy with their truth when the Queen was alive. Why are they quaking in their boots now that she's gone? Mark Hugh W. By next year, Harry and Harry's wife are likely to be Edward VIII, ousted, banned from royalty. Their worth to Netflix will be minimal. The doc, as it now stands, will get a much greater viewership, i.e. worth more, if it's not sanitised. Therefore, I think it is likely that Netflix will show the unsanitised version, which will be very juicy. Same with Random House and his memoir. Hopefully they won't let him retroactively change it to sanitise it. Heathen Goddess. I don't think it's just about the titles for the children. I believe they were told that if they continue throwing the royal family under the bus, Harry and the children will be removed from the line of succession, and King Charles will request from Parliament that they be stripped of the dukedom as well. That will leave them as just Harry and Harry's wife, former prince and former D-list actress. FJB. Of course they want to change the Netflix episodes when they found out King Charles reportedly will not make a decision on the Sussexes' children receiving prince and princess titles until he knows what's in the show. They know they will lose their titles. What's worth more to them in dollars? By Faith Notsight. I think it's abhorrent that they only care about upsetting family members after his beloved grandmother died. Well, of course, that is the lack of emotional empathy exhibited by Harry's wife and the pollutant effect that she has upon her husband. One thing, he would have bided his time until after she passed away to put out a bug. Obviously he knows it'll upset people, so now he wants to soften his tone. He was willing to put his grandmother through more distress. What a self-serving man-child. ZK, Harry's expression could be him realising that now the repercussion of his ill-advised Netflix doc and memoir will be even more damaging. A source supposedly says they wanted a redo before the Queen's death, but that could just be damage control. Bill Hansman, they said what they said. They need to own it and move on. Maybe learn from their mistakes. Fat chance of that, Bill. We shouldn't tolerate blabbermouth remorse. There isn't any. Joanne, what egos on both of them? Why would anyone be interested in following them around for a year while they seek causes to promote, or are these causes really to promote themselves? The only thing that interests the world regarding these privileged narcissists are the gossip they can offer about the royal family. Without that stuff, Netflix has nothing that would earn back the big bucks that were foolish enough to give them, and you bet they are now panicking. And there's many, many comments in a similar vein. Nobody supporting them, all of them lambasting them, showing the fact that the downward spiral continues and that they have this problem with regard to the impact of the Netflix series. Of course, because there's no emotional empathy, it's all well and good to throw their truth in there and criticise and catcall and insult people, but typically in the cowardly way that Harry's wife functions, along with her ginger lapdog. The fact is that when all of a sudden there is a potential threat to the loss of a residual benefit, all of a sudden a false conscience is developed in order to try and edit it. This shows quite clearly there is no conscience, no remorse, no sense of guilt, because if there were, it would not have been done in the first place, and this attempt to edit is entirely self-serving, entirely commensurate with the cowardly nature of the mid-range narcissist that Harry's wife is. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.